Hi, I'm Michael Roger Swanson. Welcome to the Michael Roger Swanson Show, sponsored by the Michael Roger Swanson Foundation for everything Michael Roger Swanson. Today, we have a spectacular show for you today. We have many great things to talk about, but first, I have one video that I just dying to show you. I saw it this morning. This is Sean. He goes to Live Oak High School. He loves America and white t-shirts. He studies hard at school. But one day, Sean had one marijuana. And that's when Sean knew that he fucked up. Now Sean's in jail.
In the arms of the angel,
Poor Sean.
fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room.
Wow, the horror, man. That was so devastating. Oh, wait. It's a $500 jacket, man. The horror, man. I'm just pouring tears, you know? It's just so cold, you know? Thank you, man. It really shakes your faith in humanity, but to restore that faith in humanity, I wanted to have a one-on-one conversation with you, my loving audience. Speaking of one-on-one conversation, and today we're here with our guest, Mr. Colin Sperry, head of the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union. Great group. They do a lot of great things for civil liberties. So we're here today to talk about the spike in nonviolent drug offenders.
Nonviolent drug offenders.
Nonviolent drug offenders in today's prison system. So what do you have to say about that?
So there are 50% of the federal prison system is made up of these nonviolent drug offenders. But now, 44% of those 50% are only marijuana. 39% of the 44% is possession, while 5% is distribution and manufacturing. So we have a large amount of the federal prison system dedicated to people simply owning, handling a bag, and a police officer arresting them. So that's a big problem in our country today.
Well, that's roughly a fifth of our entire federal prison system. If you go to a prison today, every fifth person you see will have marijuana charge, right?
Well, that is technically the case, yes, because 50% are nonviolent and 44% of that 50% are in fact marijuana. Now, this is the site you can go to check this to verified information, aclu.org. Great site, great people, great name.
How much can that cost taxpayers every year just for these nonviolent offenders?
$1.7 billion.
$1.7 billion?
Just for the nonviolent drug offenders.
Every year?
Every year. And that is only 50% of the federal prison system. Not to mention, most states are over budget or at their maximum on their prison budget.
Not a single state is not over budget?
Yeah, not a single state is not over budget on there.
So obviously our prisons right now are overcrowded. This is a very big issue. We're spending way too much money on this, right?
Agreed. Yes, sir. Hey, that's some sourdough bread.
We're back with our new representative. He's from the November organization. His name's Mr. Sean Aochi. Sean, how do you feel today?
I'm great today, thank you for asking.
Mr. Sperry said that a huge number of nonviolent criminals are currently locked up in U.S. prisons. Now, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I completely agree. The U.S. nonviolent prisoner population is 300% higher than the European Union combined prisoner population.
Wow, that's astronomical. So why would the U.S. have such an exponentially higher incarceration rate? I mean, obviously Europe, they must have a higher crime rate at least, because there's obviously criminals loose, right?
That is incorrect. The U.S. has about an average crime rate compared to other countries.
Really? So we have the same crime rate as other countries, yet we lock people up way more?
Correct.
But the U.S. is obviously a really, really big country, right? So that must change the numbers around a little bit, right?
The European Union has 100 million more people than the U.S.
So we're taking from a smaller pool of people, yet we have a higher incarceration rate, but we have an average crime rate.
That is true.
Our incarceration rate for nonviolent criminals is exponentially higher, ridiculously higher. We're an outlier to other countries. You know, and there's a reason for that. Now, it all started in the 1970s. The U.S. saw a spike in crime, much higher crime rate, and to respond to that, the U.S. introduced many tough on crime policies, like mandatory minimums, the war on drugs, mandatory drug sentencing, and lower requirements to get placed on life without parole. Now, the global crime rate is at a much lower percentage than it used to be, but our tough on crime policies have stayed the same. There are several ways you can help alleviate this problem. The first and foremost way you can go help this problem is this coming election year, you can support legislation that legalizes marijuana across the board in the United States. The legalization of marijuana is a heavily debated topic, and its status as a type 1 drug is very heavily contested. 44% of all nonviolent offenders currently locked up are in for marijuana charges. Now, legalizing marijuana would help alleviate the massive overcrowding problem we have in today's prisons and alleviate taxpayer money that is currently being wasted that could be spent much better other places. And that's not the only way you can help out. You can also help fight against the US's current tough on crime policies, which are currently strangling our prison system. The primary reason on why our incarceration rate is so much higher than other countries. Families Against Mandatory Minimums. FAMM. FAM. Families Against Mandatory Minimums. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Michael Roger Swanson, and thanks for watching. Woo!